ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ. ಹಾ, ಇವತ್ತು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹಲೋ, ಇದು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ. ಏನು ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದು ಇಯರ್ಫೋನು?
ನಾಳೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
ಹೌದಾ? ಇದು ಸಪ್ತಾ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರು, ಏನಾಯ್ತು? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ತಾ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಸಿಕ್ತಾ?
ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನ ಬಂದಿಲ್ವಂತೆ ಸ್ಟಾಕು.
ಹಾ 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 ಹಾ.
10th ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಸರಿ ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತೆ.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ
10th ಕ್ರಾಸ್?
ಹಾ, 10th ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2-3 ಅಂಗಡಿ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬಲದ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದಿದೆ, ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಒಂದಿದೆ. ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಲ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ 8th ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಇದೆ, ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನ ಹತ್ರನೂ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. Just to test our audio system and this one, we will play that video again, because yesterday when it was playing, this I could not see you at all. Today I am seeing. See, first day it was there. I was able to see, but I was not able to hear from you whatever you are speaking. What I am speaking, you are able to hear, but reverse was not there. So we'll try that one also. Whether it will affect the system, I do not know. That's why.
Okay.
So this is that Subarna Bari. We will see that video again.
Seven-year-old Suborno Isaac Bari became the youngest professor in the history of mankind.
Hi, when I was a kid, I used to play on the ground, but this kid became a professor only at the age of 7, and until now, he is the youngest professor in the world. Who is he and how he became a professor in a very young age?
Hi, my name is Suborno Isaac Bari. I'm 7 years old.
Suborno Bari is a Bengali American prodigy. He is known as Suborno Isaac Bari because after Sir Isaac Newton, he is the youngest professor globally, and people know him as the Einstein of our time. He grew up in New York City, United States of America. He is so genius that he started talking when he was only 6 months. And he could solve math, physics, chemistry problems when he was only 2. Then his parents started sharing his videos on the internet. Later on, he got an invitation from Voice of America to have an interview. And he is the youngest person ever to be in conversation with Voice of America.
And today we're going to be looking at reflection and refraction.
In 2018, Harvard University acknowledges him as a scientist, and in 2020, he is recognized as a professor of Harvard University. He becomes a visiting professor at Mumbai University too. Receives the Child Prodigy Award from the Nobel winner Kailash Satyarthi for his incredible efficiencies in the field of math, physics, and for the anti-terrorist campaign. He also authored a book named The Love.
The main idea of my book is focused on the topic of a Muslim child's struggle to create a world without terrorism.
Barack Obama, the then President of United States of America, didn't make mistake to recognize him too. He sent a letter congratulating him in 2016. And so many renowned university professors and chancellors wrote to him so far.
Why do you think you're so smart?
Well, I think I'm so smart because I can solve PhD level math, physics, and chemistry problems at an age I believe no other can.
You know what? Nothing can stop the persons born extraordinarily. They can go beyond everything. Just need a good nourishing and wishing him good luck.
So now let us see. I have prepared some simple questions. Whether you can answer them. You have to say true or false. You can give reasons if you want. Otherwise, also it is okay. Now the question is: the observed values are written as xi, where I is equal to 1, 2, 3, n. Is it true or false?
False, sir.
Why?
Because we should use the plus sign.
Huh?
We should use the plus sign.
No. That is why
1 plus 2.
I wanted to clarify here. This is observed values. Values, how do we write? We will write them
Observed values. It's true, sir.
as x1, x2, x3, x4, like that we write. So here that I is the subscript and x is the main script. So this I, this is subscript and this is the main script. So I value it will be given 1, 2, 3 like that up to n, depending on how many values we have. So observed values are written as x1, x2, x3, x4 like that. You're able to follow?
Yes, sir.
So next question. Sum of observed values is written as sigma xi.
Sum of observed values is written as sigma xi. True, sir.
Because sigma means it is sum of all the values of xi, where I will be 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n. That means x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus xn, what we write, can be written in the form of abbreviation as sigma xi. So to simplify further, we can write it as sigma x also, assuming it is all values of x are added. Like that also we can write. This is using the subscript notation, that's all.
Yes, sir.
Say true or false, arithmetic mean of observed values is written as x bar is equal to sigma xi by n.
True, sir.
Because whenever we say mean, whatever we have added, we divide by the number of observations or number of numbers that are given in the problem. So
Yes.
that gives the average value or the mean value or the arithmetic mean. Say true or false, deviations from mean value are written as di is equal to xi minus x bar, where I is 1, 2, 3, n.
True.
because we always subtract the average value
X1
what you have
minus X bar.
calculated from all values of x, and we write that as the deviation of that
Deviation.
x value from the mean value. So how many observed values are given in the problem? There will be so many deviations values will be there. So d1 is equal to x1 minus x bar, d2 is equal to x2 minus x bar, d3 is equal to x3 minus x bar, like that. dn is equal to xn minus x bar, like that it will come. Squares of deviations from mean value are written as di square, which is nothing but xi minus x bar the whole square, where I is 1, 2, 3, 4, n, like that. What
False.
is this one? Huh?
False.
What is this one actually?
Yes, sir.
It is squares of the deviations. What is the deviation?
D square.
No. See, what is the deviation? Deviation is
Di is equal.
deviation is capital letter D, which is like x minus x bar in simple terms, or it is di is equal to xi minus x bar for different values of I that is used here. Now, this one is squares of the deviations from the mean value are written like this. Is it true or false?
False, sir.
Why?
Sir, because there are two squares. Di square is equal to xi minus x bar square. There are
That,
two square and we'll write it as only d square.
no, but what is D?
Deviation.
Deviation is this is the one, xi minus x bar.
From mean value are written as 6.
See, D is equal to xi minus x bar. You write it on the paper. You can write, to make it more simpler, you write D is equal to x minus x bar.
Yes, sir.
Now you square on both the sides.
Yes, sir.
So what will you get?
One minute, sir. D equal to xi minus Sir, we'll get it just d square, di square is equal to xi minus x bar square.
Whole square.
Whole
Is it not?
yes.
See what you have written at the top. You have written D is equal to xi minus x bar. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
So square on both the sides.
Yeah.
So you will get left side. What will you get? Squaring.
Where, sir? Left side.
See, you have written di is equal to xi minus x bar.
Yes, sir.
You have written, is it not? First. Now square both the sides.
Di square is equal to xi minus x bar whole square.
That is all it is written here. This is the squares of the deviation.
Oh.
So deviation is d. Deviation is d. Squares of the deviation is d square. Now this I is written subscript because you will get several that d values, that is d1 square, d2 square, d3 square, dn square, like that you will get by substituting x1 here, x2, x3, x4, like that. Is it not? So as many values of x are available there, that many squares of the deviations will be available. You have followed or not?
Sir.
Okay. Now, sum of the squares of the deviations from mean value is written as sigma di square.
Sum of squares of deviations from mean value is written as di square.
Is it true or false?
True, sir.
Why?
Sir, because the squares of deviations from mean value is the
Is di square.
di square.
Now, when you say sum of, you have to use the sigma.
And squares of deviation is di square.
Which is the squares of deviations is di square.
Sum means sigma.
Sum means sigma. So sigma of di square. Now di represents d1 square, d2 square, d3 square, d4 square, dn square, like that. So all of them you have to add. That will give the sum of the squares of the deviations from the mean value.
Yes, sir. Variance is equal to
Variance is equal to the mean of the squares of the deviations from the mean value, which is written as sigma di square divided by n.
true.
Huh?
True, sir.
Because see, from here, mean of the squares of the deviations from the mean value is sigma di square divided by n.
Yes, sir.
Sum alone, sum of this will be sigma di square. When you say mean of that one, it will be divided by the number of numbers. And this item is called as variance also. So variance is sigma di square by n. Next, standard deviation is equal to the square root of the variance, which is written as sigma is equal to square root of variance or square root of sigma di square divided by n. This entire thing comes within the square root. So is it true or false?
Division is equal to the square root of 3. Sir, false.
Why?
Sir, because only variance comes, no, sir.
Variance is what?
Square root variance.
No, see, this is variance.
Yeah.
This is variance. So variance is sigma di square by n. Now standard deviation is equal to square root of the variance, which is written as. So because it is square root of variance, we write square root of variance here. But what is variance? It is sigma di square by n. So within square root, the variance expression what we wrote earlier, that will come here. It is sigma di square by n. You're able to follow?
Sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
You can note down this if you want.
Okay.
Standard deviation is equal to the square root of the variance, which is written as sigma is equal to square root of variance, which is also equal to square root of sigma di square by n, where I will vary from 1 to n.
Yes, sir.
Now, variance is equal to square of the standard deviation, which is written as variance is equal to sigma square. Is it true or false?
True.
Why?
Sir, when the variance is equal to the square of the standard deviation,
Ah,
it will be the square which is the root for it, which is the root for standard deviation.
So sigma itself is square root of variance.
Square.
So if you square on both the sides, sigma will become sigma square, and here square root sign will cancel.
Answer.
Standard deviation is equal to square root of variance. Is it true or false?
True, sir.
Because of the same definition. Variance is equal to square root of standard deviation.
True, sir.
How?
Sir, when we take the variance as the square root, sir, it comes under the standard deviation.
No, but this sentence, it is telling variance is equal to square root of standard deviation. The question is it true or false?
Square root of standard deviation. I think it's true, sir.
How?
Sir, when we take variance,
What is standard deviation you have written?
standard deviation. Wait.
Just now you wrote it.
Standard deviation is the square root of the mean of the squares of the deviations from the mean value.
So next, there will be another simpler one also I gave last.
Standard deviation is the square root of variance.
That is the statement there. Now here we are telling variance is equal to square root of standard deviation. So is it true or false?
False, sir.
Because why it is false?
Because standard deviation is the square root of variance.
Correct.
Not variance will not come under it. So
Variance is not equal to square root of standard deviation.
square root of standard.
That is the thing. Now, this I forgot to ask you that when we played the previous video, did we hear the sound also?
Yes, sir, we heard it, but
Ah,
it was
because
not clear, sir.
I say.
Means I could hear, but
Ah,
the display was not clear. It was hanging.
there is some problem. That's why last time the sound was also not coming. That's why I think there was some problem there. So let us try this one and see how it works.
Percentage. I figure 75% to you, Panma, and 25% divided between the 5 of us. Yida, Crowbar, myself, Tom, and the baby. That makes 5% for each one of us.
Billy, you're cheating yourself. If there's 25% divided among the 5 of you, that's 14% apiece.
Oh, no, listen, Pa. I wouldn't cheat you. You know I wouldn't. Now, look here. I'll show you. Let me rub this out here. And now, 25 divided by 5 is 5. You see, 5 won't go into 2, will it? No. But 5 goes into 25 5 times, you see?
No, you're wrong, Billy. Now, I'm a pretty good mathematician. Now, 5 into 25... 5 won't go into 2, will it?
No.
But 5 goes into 5 once. Now, we didn't use the 2 before, so we bring it down here. Now, 5 into 20 goes 4 times. There you are. 5 into 25, 14.
No, look, Pa. Let me prove it to you now by multiplication. 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25.
Really, I'm surprised you're learning.
Huh?
I'm surprised that you're learning. Now I'll show you. 5 times 14 is 25. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 1 is 5. 25. That's it.
No, look, Ma. Look, you're wrong there because I'll prove it to you. We'll put down 5 14s here. 14. There. Now I'll prove to you by addition that 5 14s is not 25. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There you are. Better brush up, Billy. I don't want to see you boys cheated.
This you are able to hear sound?
Yes.
And what about the video? It is coming properly?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So sometimes I think there is some problem. So either video or audio, some difficulty will be there. Anyway, there is an experiment. Okay, you take this problem. 1 liter of water, you can note down. 1 liter of water is taken in a copper bottom aluminum vessel. 1 liter of water is taken in a copper bottom aluminum vessel. Is heated using an electric stove. Is heated using an electric stove. The temperature of the water getting heated, the temperature of the water getting heated is measured at 2 minutes interval. Is measured at 2 minutes interval. The observed values of the water in the copper bottom vessel expressed in degree centigrade are. Expressed in degree centigrade are.
Yes.
You are able to write?
Yes, sir.
You can read it once. Let me see. Something is missing.
Sir, 1 minute. Sir.
Ah.
Ah. 1 liter of water is taken in a copper bottom aluminum vessel is heated using one on electric stove. The temperature of water getting heated is measured at 2 minutes interval. The observed values of the water in the copper bottom vessel expressed in degree centigrade are.
So these values you can write it. 22, 22, 28, 35. 22, 28, 35, 43, 52, 62, 73, 85, and 98. So the values given are 22, 28,
Yes, sir.
35, 43, 52, 62, 73, 85, and 98. These are in degree centigrade. Find the average temperature of the water. Now, this is something called an application problem where we are using this statistics to find the mean temperature when several temperatures are given during a process. So as you keep on heating, starting from 0, every 2 minutes the temperature is read. So at the starting, the water will be at room temperature, maybe at 18 degrees, 19 degrees, 20 degrees like that. So after 2 minutes, the temperature increases to 28, then 35, like that it goes. And last temperature noted was 98 degrees centigrade. We want to find the mean value. Now, step 1, what will you do?
We'll write the observed values.
Yeah, please write down the observed values of temperature are, because there in the problem description is given where the experiment is conducted and the particular experiment. Now we are interested in the values which were observed. So find the average temperature of the water when these values are given. What is the next step?
We should add on the values.
Yeah, exactly. That means next step will be we have to find sum of the observed
Sigma
values.
X.
Yeah, sum of the observed values of temperatures. So sigma x you have to find.
498, sir.
So that is the sum. What is the next step?
Should find the X bar.
Very good.
(498 by 9 values is equal to 555.3 recurring.
So on the above 3, we put a dash there, indicate
Okay.
that the single digit is repeating several times. But let us keep the answer as 55.3 for one decimal place.
Yes.
Now, after finding the mean, what is the next step?
We should draw the table, sir.
Allah, without that, now we have
We
studied
should
different.
write the input answer.
Huh?
We should write it in a single way or input answer.
No. Now, today from the beginning, I have given all the steps. So after finding the mean, we are going to find. We will try to find the deviation of the observed value from the mean value. So we will find D is equal to X minus X bar. We want to find the deviation of observed values from the mean values. So that is nothing but D is equal to X minus X bar. So simple form, we can write like this. It means like Di is equal to Xi minus X bar, because for each value of X, there will be a separate D coming there. X bar will be constant. So X bar for this problem is 55.3.
Yes, sir.
That will be there. So D1 will become X1 minus that. So find out for all these values, D1, D2, D3, D4, up to D9. You find out, let us see. So after finding the mean value, we will go for finding the deviation from the mean. It is called mean deviation in short form. So the deviation of the observed values from the mean value, whatever calculated. So how many data values are there with us? That many
9.
deviations will come. In this problem, there were 9 values of X. So there will be 9 values for deviations will be there. So each value subtract average value. Average value is only 1, we have calculated, whereas X value will keep on differing. So you get a corresponding D value, and they are the deviations from the mean value. So find out D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7, D8, D9.
We should add all the 9 values, sir.
Right now you are not adding. Right now we are finding what are the deviations. First calculate the deviations and tell me. We'll check the answer whether I am right or you are right, like that. Then we'll go to the next step.
Sir, we should. Sir, the D1 is 22.
D1 is not 22. X1 is 22.
X1 is 22.
So X bar is?
X bar is 55.3. We should.
So D1
add
is equal to X1 minus X bar.
X1 minus
is D1, which is 22 minus 55.3.
Okay.
Like that, you have to find D2. which is x2 minus x bar. So like that, find all the values up to D9. D9 is equal to
Finding.
x9 minus x bar.
Minus 33.3. D2. 28.
You can tell what you are writing so that I will.
D1 is equal to minus 33.3.
Very good.
D2 is equal to minus 27.3. I'm calculating.
Yeah, calculate it. Let us see.
D3 is equal to minus 20.3. D4 is equal to minus 12.3. D5 is equal to minus 3.3.
Yeah.
D5 is equal to minus 3.
Correct.
D6 is equal to 6.7. D7 is equal to 17.7.
Correct.
Minus 54. 29.7, sir. D8.
Correct.
D9 is 42.7.
Correct. Now we have all the deviations, 9 deviations we have found out.
Yes.
So what is the next step?
D square is equal to x minus x bar square.
Yeah. So we
Whole
have to
square.
do. Yeah, we have to do that one. So
Okay.
here, x minus x bar we have already calculated. So those values you can put here.
We should means we should square the values.
Square the values. Yes.
33.3.
Whole square you write.
$1108.89.
Correct. Like that, all the D's, you have to make the square and write the answer.
Okay.
D we have already calculated. So square them and write, it will become D square.
Easy.
So D1 square, D2 square, D3 square, like that, D9 square will come.
D2 square is equal to 745.29.
Correct.
$20.3. 412.09.
Correct.
$148.4. Sir, 1 minute. Sir. Oh, sorry, I've written 12.2. 151.29.
12.3 whole square it is. Minus of that, but squaring it is positive only. It will become.
Yes, sir. $10.89.
Correct, correct.
$44.89.
Correct.
$313.29.
Correct, correct.
$882.09.
Correct.
$1,823.29.
Correct, correct. So what is the next step?
The next step is sigma d square.
We have to add all of them.
All of
How much you got?
Sir, 15,473.01.
And how much? How much?
15,473.01.
I think it is wrong. Just check it again.
One minute. 1108. And 745. 8.89 plus 313.29 plus 882.09 plus 1823.29. 5590.02.
You're nearby. I think there is some difference. Just check.
Sir, correct, sir. 5590.02.
Yeah, there you have made a mistake. That's 5.
I had written under 10.89, sir.
That is you have to do that one.
Yeah, 108.9 instead of 108.9, I had written 10.89.
Yeah,
So,
that is correct.
yeah,
And therefore, this answer is how much?
5590.02.
Is it?
Yes, sir. I got exact answer what you have given, sir.
And now tell me, what are the figures you have added?
1108.89.
1000?
108.89.
Correct. Second one?
745.29. 412.09. 151.29. 108.9.
108 will not come.
10.89. That too I had written that only, sir. Again I changed it because you are written the same.
No. Yeah, it is 10.89 will come there.
Yeah.
Then whatever the next one?
44.89. 313.29. 8882.09. 1823.29.
How much will it come?
I will calculate it, sir.
Yeah, you have to calculate.
That I changed that you had written 108.89. So
No, you should not. That's why, because I told you first class, if two people make the calculations, every step is correct,
yes, sir.
then both will be right. Otherwise, one of will be wrong.
In 0.83. It's showing some error.
Hmm?
Yes.
Don't copy, you work out so that you will get the correct idea.
412.09. Point. 5492.01.
Correct. Very good. Now, what is the next step?
Sigma d square is equal to 5.
So after sigma d square, what will we find?
We should divide the
Yeah,
number of.
yeah,
Should divide the number of values.
yeah.
N.
You will get the variance.
Yes, sir. Five thousand four 492.01 divided by 9.
How much you got?
Sir, 1 minute. 5492.01 divided by 9. 610.2.
Yeah, 2 to 3 will come. Then 3,
Yes, sir.
3, 3, 3, 3 will
Recurring.
repeat.
Yeah.
So we can write 610.223 and above the 3 put a bar, and let us use only for one decimal place. So it will become 610.2.
Yes, sir.
What is the next step?
The standard deviation variance, we should square the root.
Square root of the
Square
variance.
root no, is
Ah,
not.
we have to take the square root.
62.60. 610. 621 point. Sorry, 621.1 now ಬಂದಿದ್ದು.
ಇಲ್ಲ. What you were told earlier, that's okay. 610.223. So 610.2 you take.
24.70.
Yeah. So you can take it at 24.7. So you got 24.70.
Yes, sir.
Now you calculate mean value minus sigma. Don't take these values. What you have got, you take it. This is sigma value. But what you have got, you use that. Don't use this value. 55.3 is mean value.
Mean value.
Minus sigma value.
4.70. Okay.
That is 55.3 minus 24.7.
30.6.
Correct. Then you calculate mean minus 2 times sigma.
Okay. Sir, I'll write this first, sir.
But don't take this value, sir.
Yes, sir.
You write only this formula and write what you got.
Uh, 55.3 minus 2 brackets 24.7 CO brackets close is equal to 5.9.
Correct. Next you calculate mean plus sigma.
Ah. sir.
Correct. Next you calculate that
two
mean,
times.
2 times sigma.
Huh? 104.7.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, sir.
So now you can write the results like this, sir. Actually, I have asked to calculate the mean only, but we have done everything, because everything if we do, we can solve problems of that type also. All varieties we can do.
Then it will become easy for.
Yeah. And some problems, they may ask you only variance. Then you have to find the mean also. Some problems they may ask only standard deviation, but you have to find mean, variance,
Mean and variance.
and say this one.
Yeah.
So plus that extra also will give you. Now, in this result, you have the mean value, and you have noted down that you got the mean minus sigma, is it not?
Yes, sir.
How much you got that one?
30.6.
That one. And mean plus sigma.
80.2. 80. Correct.
So now you find out how many values are between this and this value. That is 30.6 and 80.
30.6 and 80.
So when you write the result there.
Sir, 7 values, sir.
Now if you write here, the observed values are, you write all the values there. Then it is easy to check here and write how many are between 30.6 and 80. So that means 30.6 and above should be there, and below 80 should be there. How many values are there?
Sir, 35, 43, 52.
52, 60,
62,
73 also.
and 73. Yeah.
Also, that means there are 5 values
5 values.
which are between 30.6 and 80.0.
4 are between 4 are between the minus 5.9 and 104 we should find, sir.
That is,
Uh,
we have calculated here, mean minus 2 sigma.
yeah, minus 2 sigma and plus
How-
2 sigma.
How much you got there?
Sir,
5.9.
minus 2 sigma is 5.9.
5.9 and 104.7.
104.7.
Yeah. So you check how many are there between 5.9 and 104.7.
Okay, sir. Five point nine hundred and four. 22, 28. Between 5.9 and 104, right?
104.7.
Sir, then all the values will come. Sir.
Exactly. So all of them will come.
Yeah.
So here actually, out of all those values, if you
The
subtract
5
this,
already we have observed.
if you subtract this 5, then we get the remaining numbers here.
4.
After subtracting this, not immediately.
Yeah.
Here all the 9 items are between this and this, and subtracting what we have already taken, then what we will get is those which are below 30.6 and 80, above 80. Those which are below 30.6
and above 80.
and above 80. Above 80, these two will come.
22, 28, 98, 85.
Yeah. So these two will come below the 30.6. And these two will come above 80. So one more
Yes, sir.
step you have to write here. I have not written there.
It's okay, sir. I will get it.
Yeah. That's why. See, if we work together, there will be some step is missing or anything like that we can find. It is because CPU is always faster. Mind will be thinking next step.
Yes,
So while writing hand, it will be slower, peripheral device. So if there is a little bit missing of the information, next step we will go and some mistakes will happen. So that is why I told that you have to work the problems, make mistakes and learn from that, rework it, reevaluate, so that next time we will not do the same mistake.
Yes, sir. Sir, that we didn't find the other 2 values, no, sir.
No, we have already found, That means what we have found was those which are between 30.6 and 80, those which are below 30.6, those which are above 80.6,
Okay.
80, above 80. Now, this one is called as a normal distribution curve. It will come like this. So it is called as a bell curve because it looks like a bell. Bell is the temple,
Yes, sir.
So this is the shape of the bell in the temple. Now, all naturally occurring phenomena, whatever happens naturally, it is found that the mean value is kept here at the center. This point in this horizontal line, this is our 55.3. This
Yes,
point is 55.3. Now, adding 1 sigma, we get this point. Subtracting 1 sigma, we get this point. So between plus minus 1 sigma, it covers 68% of the observed values. 68% will come within this average and plus minus 1 sigma. But if you take plus minus 2 sigma, it covers almost 95%. In our case, we got 100% because all were there within plus minus 2 sigma. That means the data what you have taken is not a naturally happening thing. And if you take plus minus 3 sigma, it covers like 99.7% it will come. So 99% it covers everything. So this 100 minus 99, 1%, that means 0.5% here, 0.5% here will be outside plus minus 3 sigma. So meaning is like this. If there are 100 students in a class, then 5 students will got mark less than this much. That means you have to find out how many is here, how many covering for that, how many covering for that, subtract from the 100. So total is 100. From here to here is 50. So this 99 is for the total. Half if we take, it will be 99 divided by 2. That is 49.5. So this will become 0.5.
Yes, sir.
And this will become 0.5. So if we have 1000 students, one student will get marks below this one, and one student will get marks above this one. So he is that rank student. But this portion, you again subtract from 99 this 95 divided by 2. So 99 minus 95 is 4 divided by 2 will be 2. Per 1000 it will be 20. So 20 students will get below this marks. That is, we got some 30.6 or something. How much? 5.9. 5.9. Below 5.9 they will get here. So an equal number for that 20 people will get more than that is 104.7, like that. So similarly, this portion, if you want to calculate this total, you have to take, there subtract all this and subtract this. Then you get this number of people who are getting marks between this and this. That is between 1 sigma and 2 sigma. See, this is plus minus 1 sigma, this is plus minus 2 sigma. So the total whatever is there divided by 2 means this will become half.
Yes, sir.
So that you can find out how much is this, like this. So we will be having topic where we have to use this diagram and find out about number of people who got more than 68% marks, number of people who got marks between 68 and 99, those who got above this 99 or below 1%, like that. So for that purpose, this diagram is used. So this one gives naturally occurring processes, but what the reading what you have taken is not the one that correctly follows this pattern.
Yes, sir.
So for naturally occurring person, this diagram is used. So here the arrangement is such that if you draw the graph on a graph sheet, if you draw the bell shape on the graph sheet, then you can count the number of squares, which are coming within the squares, within this diagram. So wherever the full square is there, you count them. Where at this place, suppose a square has come like this. So if half or more is there, you take it as 1. less than half is there, you ignore. Then you can find total number of squares there. So that gives the area under this graph. That is area under this normal distribution curve or the bell curve. Now, in drawing here, the writing is such a way, this area becomes only 1 unit. That is like 1 square meter, 1 square centimeter, like that. So centimeter and all that is too small unit. So we can consider that it is like 1 square meter. That means 1 meter itself is 100 centimeter. So 100 into 100, 10,000 centimeter square. So we can use that as 1 unit here.
Okay, sir.
Then if 10,000 students are there, we can use the corresponding thing by using these values. So the 68% of all the total students will get marks between this and this. That is mean plus minus sigma. So the purpose of making this calculation of mean and standard deviation is mean value will give the midpoint. Then plus minus sigma will give 68% of the people who will get that marks who appear in exam. Now this 95 minus 68, you subtract, how much you get?
95 minus 68, 5, 6, 7, 27.
27. That if you divide by 2, you will get here 13.5. You will get 13.5.
Yes, sir.
So this 13.5 and this 13.5, we can tell that they will get the marks between sigma, mean minus sigma and mean minus 2 sigma. That difference, that will be 13.5% people.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, these people will get the marks more. That is more than mean plus sigma, but less than mean minus mean plus 2 sigma.
Yes, sir.
So similarly, if you subtract 99 minus 95, you will get 4, and that divided by 2, you will get 2% here and 2% here.
Okay, sir.
So 2% of the students will get below these marks, and 2% of the total will get above these marks. So these are on the higher side, these are on the lower side. And beyond that 3 sigma, it is about 1%, but this actually decimal point is taken, it is like 99.7% it will cover for plus minus 3 sigma. Now, what the sigma value means is, see, sigma value is small value. Here to here is sigma. Here to here is sigma. So sigma value is lesser, the curve will be a thing like that. It is very sharp. This width is smaller, like that. But if sigma value is more, it will be widened. It will be increase in the width, and height may decrease. Of course, it depends on the what is the mean value.
Yes, sir.
So the sigma will tell us whether our curve will be a sharp curve like this or a flattened curve like that. So sigma is less means it is from here to here or from here to here. So that will tell the values are all nearer to the mean value. So those who are getting marks, 68% people, they will get
Will come here.
between this one. If this is a flattened one and wide graph, then that gives a different picture.
Different.
So the narrowness or the bluntness or flatness of the graph is decided by that sigma business. You're able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Now you take a problem I will give. You take these values. $20, you note down these values.
Oh,
20,
20.
12, 12, then 8 and 8 again. Then 12, 8, 2. So I have given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values. That is 20, 12, 8, 8, 12, 8, 2. You have noted down correctly? Now, this is something called the raw data. So it could be the marks obtained by the different students. Whoever comes to the college first or last. If you just collect the marks, it may come something like this. Now, sometimes we want to arrange it either in ascending order or in descending order. That is, ascending means from lowest to the
Small to
highest.
big.
Yeah, lowest to the highest. Otherwise,
Descending highest to
lowest.
the lowest.
Yeah. Now, can you arrange them in the ascending order?
Yes, sir. 2,
Yeah.
8, 8, 8, 12, 12, 20.
20. Now, when you arrange like this in order, you find out what is the center term, item at the center.
The center is 12, sir. Maybe.
How many values are there?
7, sir.
So, which is the middle one?
8.
Yeah. So that middle portion, that number, that is called median. MEDIAN.
Median.
Median. Median is the middle term. When arranged in ascending order or descending order, any one you can do. You arrange them in the descending order.
20. 12, 12. 8, 8, 8. 2.
Then also you can find the middle term.
Yes, sir.
The item which is at the center, that is called the median.
12.
Then there is another term called mode, MODE, mode. So when you arrange in ascending order or descending order, find the item that has repeated maximum. What is the value that has repeated?
8, sir. Mode. Mode is 8.
That is called as mode. So mode is the term that occurs more frequently in the observed data. So now we can increase our problem. First to say, find the mean, then median and mode. Find mean, median and mode.
Mean we should add all the values.
No. Mean we are going for adding and dividing. Median means we have to arrange them in the
ascending order or descending order.
Or descending order, anyone.
Mode is the middle term. Maximum repeated term.
No, that is for the mode.
More, yeah.
For median, whichever comes in the center.
Center, yeah.
Mode is the item which repeats too many times, more than other numbers, which has got highest number of times repetitions. You're able to follow? Now, I will give you one more problem. You can take this. One more problem you can take.
Yes, sir.
16 16 10 again 16 8 16 24 26 10.
Should I say arrange them in ascending order, sir?
Now how many values you have got?
8.
8. So can you read out once again? I will check what I have given
16, 10, 16.
you.
8, 16, 24. 26, 10.
Correct. Now, if these are the observed values of something, some parameter. Now, if we say find mean, median, mode, and standard deviation, then you have to find mean, median, mode, variance, standard deviation. All that you have to do.
Yes, sir.
Now, finding mean, how will you do?
Adding all values and dividing it.
Yeah.
And median is the center.
That is why I gave this problem. So, whenever the number of values given are not odd numbers, then you don't find a number at the center.
Yes, sir.
At that time, you have to take the average of the two numbers which are at the center.
Yes, sir.
So, arrange them in the increasing order or decreasing order. So, first find the mean. How much is the mean?
Sir, I'm calculating, sir. 24, 10, 16, 26, 26, 32, 42, 42, 50, 66, 66, 70, 90, 110, 106, 106. Sir, 116.
Huh?
116.
Check once again.
I'll do it in calculator and check it. I
Ah.
read it mentally. So
ಅದೇ ಮೆಂಟಲಿ ನೀವು ಬರಬೇಕು. See, if you learn that one, it will be faster than the calculator and exercise for the mind also. So try that one. When there is difference coming, then you can use calculator for verification. But not simply using.
correct ಆಗಿ ಬಂತು ಸರ್.
ಹೌದಾ?
126.
48, 56, 76.
126.
126 is correct. But how much you told? 116.
ಅದು 10 difference ಬಂತು.
That's why. So what is the mean value?
126 divided by 8 ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸರ್.
ಹಾ.
15.75.
Correct. Now find out what is the median.
Median. ಸರ್ 16 ಸರ್ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಟರ್ಮ್. ಮೀಡಿಯನ್ 16 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Median is 16 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ because 16 plus 16 by 2. The middle two terms are there, means you have to add them and divide by 2. That will be the
16. 32 ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು?
ಅಲ್ಲ, in this problem, that at the middle there are two terms. So that middle two terms you add and divide by 2. That gives the median.
32 divided by 2 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 16 ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
Correct. Now mode means the number which repeated maximum number of times.
16 mode.
Because it has come thrice. Now you see, if you arrange them in ascending order, descending order, it is easy to find the numbers which have repeated. Now, if it is a naturally occurring process, all these three values will come one and the same.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, because of some practical difficulties in conducting experiment, noting down the values, skipping this decimal points, after the decimal point, several digits may be there. We try to round off. So by doing that, there will be small discrepancies. Otherwise, naturally occurring process means all the three will come same only. So exam problems, they may not come same because of the method we use for calculating them. You're able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Now, take this problem and find the standard deviation using the steps what we gave today. What is step number 1, step number 2, step number 3? Then you don't have to use any table.
Sir, ಅದೇ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದ ಡಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿಯೋದು
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾವಿನ್ನೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. This we are only finding mean, median and mode.
ಅದರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ಇವಾಗ ಅದೇ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿಯೋದು?
ಅದೇ ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀನ್ ಕಂಡಿಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಮೀನ್ ಕಂಡಿಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಮೈನಸ್ ದಿ ಮೀನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ಡಿ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ಅಲ್ವೇ? Every x value minus the average value. Average value means here arithmetic mean you take. Don't take the
16 plus
ಇಲ್ಲ 16 ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ. You take the mean value what you have calculated.
mean value.
Mean value means x bar.
15.75.
That you have to take.
Sir, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್?
x ಇಂದ. x ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ.
ಅದೇ 16 ಜೊತೆ ತಾನೆ?
ಅಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲದು. That means if you are taking from the numbers which are raw data ಆದ್ರೆ 16 ನಿಂದ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇದು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಎರಡು ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ದಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ.
D is equal to x minus x bar.
D is equal to x minus x bar.
ಇವಾಗ ನನಗಂದ್ರೆ ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್?
ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್. ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಮೇ ಪುಟ್ ಅ ರಾಂಗ್.
ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ತಗೊಂತೀನಿ. ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ತಗೊಂತೀನಿ.
ಯಾವ್ದು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯಂಟ್ ಯು.
First value minus 7.75. Second value minus 5.75. ಮತ್ತೆ minus 5.75. 0.25. 0.25. 0.25. 24 minus 15. 8.25. 10.25.
Correct. So these are the deviations from the mean. Next step is to find the d square.
$60.0625. Sir? 60.0625 ಬರ್ತದೆ ಸರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್.
ಫುಲ್ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಅಥವಾ 60.06 ಸಾಕ?
ಎರಡು ಡೆಸಿಮಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, 60.06 ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡೆಸಿಮಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಕ್ಯುರಸಿ ಬೇಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಗೋಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ.
33.06. Excuse me. $0.06. 68.06.
How much?
68.06.
Correct.
105.06.
06. So what is the next step?
D square to sigma d square.
Correct.
ಡಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್?
ಹೌದು.
60.06 plus 33.06 plus 33. $299.48, sir.
Correct.
So ಇವಾಗ 299.48 divided by 8.
ಹಾ.
37.43. 37.4 ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ.
4 ತಗೋಬೋದ? 4 ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
435 ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್.
ಹೌದಾ?
37.4 ತಗೊಂತೀನಿ.
ಓಕೆ. 37.4 you can take.
37.4. ಈಗ ವೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್?
ವೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು?
ವೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ರೂಟ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ರೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು 37.4 ನ.
37.4 ಬರೋದನ್ನೇ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್.
ಅದೇ.
When you find the square root of that, you get standard deviation.
ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ deviation.
ಅದೇ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೆವರಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು.
ಅದೇ. $6.11.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್. ಈಗೇನು ಮಾಡಿ, ಮೀನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಮೈನಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ, ಮೀನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯಿರಿ.
ಮೀನ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ. ಮೀನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು 15.75 minus 6.1. 9.64 sir.
ಸೊ ಮೀನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಮೈನಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮೀನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಸರ್ 2 ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ಮಾಡಲ್ವಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ಮಾಡಿ.
$21.86.
Correct. ಈಗ now you find in the given data how many numbers are there between 9.64 and 21.86.
9.64. Sir, 6 values.
ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ್ದು?
8, 10, 10, 16, 16, 16.
8 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ
ಸರ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 8 ತಾನೆ ಸರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು?
ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ what are the
Ah,
numbers
sorry. Correct.
which are
1, 2,
between
3,
9.64
5
and
values, sir. 5
and
values.
9.64 ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, 21.86 ಗೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರಬೇಕು.
5 values ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಹಾ
5 values ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಯಾವುದು?
10, 16, 16, 16.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಈಗ how many are below 9.64?
3.
Below 9.64.
Below na, sir? ಒಂದೇ.
ಒಂದೇ. How many are above 21.86?
2.
ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ 1 ಸಿಗ್ಮಾದಲ್ಲಿ there are 5 values out of 8. ಈ 5/8 ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರಫ್ ಆಗಿ.
5/8.
5 divided by 8.
0.625.
Correct. See, ನಮ್ದು if it is a naturally occurring process, plus minus 1 sigma ಅಂದ್ರೆ 68% ಬರಬೇಕು. So it is coming around 62.5%. For 100 ಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ it becomes 62.5. So it is okay. ಆದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ 2 ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ತಗೋಬೇಕೀಗ. ಸೊ ಮೀನ್ minus 2 sigma, mean plus 2 sigma calculate ಮಾಡಿ.
$3.53.
So if you take mean plus 2 sigma,
$27.97.
correct. Now you find how many are below 3.53.
Below 3.53 ಇರೋದು 0 sir.
Above 27.97.
0.
That means all are between 3.53 and 27.97. That means it is 8 divided by 8 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 100% ಆಯ್ತು.
100.
ನಮ್ಮ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿತ್ತು, ಮೀನ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ 2 sigma, it covers 95%. So if it is natural process adre, it will be like that. Here there will be some experimental errors when taking down the readings, and somebody is calling out the readings, another person is noting down the values. In that case, if a person wants to say like 40.2, he may say 42. So instead of 40.2, he may note down 42 or something like that. Errors can be there. So otherwise, see, this comes nearer to what we have, the general values or normal values. So normal values, mean value plus minus 1 sigma covers about 68%. That means in normal valuation, normal examination for everybody means 68% of the people will get marks, which will be class average minus the standard deviation and class average plus the standard deviation. And if you go for average marks minus 2 standard deviation and average marks plus 2 standard deviation, it covers 95% of the people.
Yes, sir.
In the third plus minus 3 sigma, that balance of 5% only will be there. That is 2.5% below the one lower side and 2.5% above the higher side. So that is how we can expect about the results. So what is coming on the mean value plus sigma, mean value plus 2 sigma, mean value plus 3 sigma, they are getting above average marks. And mean value minus sigma, mean value minus 2 sigma, mean value minus 3 sigma. They all get marks below the average value.
Yes.
So if the college or institutions make this study like this, then they can try to arrange special classes for those who have got less than average marks, so that they can also learn and come and reach the above average side. That is the idea. You are able to follow?
Yes, sir.
I think today there was no internet variation problem was not
Yeah.
there, and that's okay. Now what you do, take all the problems what we have done, okay, and calculate the mean, median and mode for all of them. Then calculate the variance standard deviation by the method what I gave you today, that is by using the steps. And then you can also use that 2 tabular methods I have given.
Yes, sir.
Try all of them, whichever you feel convenient for you, that you can use in exam.
Okay.
And you will know which is faster for you, because you have worked all the 3 methods. Whichever you feel convenient, whichever you feel easy, which can save time in exam hall, that you can use.
Okay.
So please try all the problems like this, and
Okay.
then we can continue. Maybe tomorrow we can meet at the same time.
Okay, sir.
And please work out the problems, this otherwise.
Sir, ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ sir.
Please ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅದು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಲೈನಿಗೆ ಬರಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇನೆ ಅವಾಗ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Then you will be able to do further. Mistakes ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, doesn't matter. The purpose is we will try to do, and if there are mistakes, we rework
yes.
it again and revalue. And 2-3 times ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ the mistakes ಗಳು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Then at the time of exam, you don't have to, you will not be making the mistakes also, like that. Then please tell your friends also, whoever wants to come, so that I will see how best we can provide them some time. Like that I will see.
Okay.
And whatever the difficulty you get, if at all you get any difficulty, please note them down so that you will not forget. So that I can clarify that and we can continue. Generally, nobody has come and asked me that I have doubt, because things are generally explained correctly, clearly, completely. But there may be some mistakes because of this difference in speed between the CPU and the peripheral devices.
Yes, sir.
See, mind is very fast to work, and mouth, hand, they are all peripheral devices, they work slow. Now we'll be thinking of next step like that. So if there is a sudden gap between that one, we might, whatever you tell may become wrong, or in writing some mistakes may happen, like that. But that does not matter. That we can always recognize, and next time we can avoid what is happening there.
Okay.
So all the problems you work, you add these extra things also what you have learned today. And you calculate by using the today's method, the step-by-step method. There are 8 steps from beginning to end. So all of them, if you work also, you get the answers. Now, I want you to do by all the 3 methods and check the answers what you get by different method. That is what I want to this one. So that whether all of them are giving the same answer or there may be a slight differences. There may be differences because that number of decimal places, what computer or calculator displays and how many we are taking. So there will be some small discrepancy will be there. So please work out by all the three methods and check
Okay.
the answers so that we will know how much difference we can get at the most.
Okay, sir.
So depending on the method used and the rounding off and termination of the additional digits after the decimal places, there can be small differences in the values that we get.
Okay.
Okay, so please try and all of them and work. And tomorrow we will see what will be your opinion. Then we will continue further.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.